Somebody just recently asked me about my career ambitions, what I plan to do, what is in store for me, what's next for me. When people ask you those questions, they're being nosy and they're being very inquisitive, but they're trying to figure out what you're doing next. And my simple response was, I don't know. Now, somebody may look at it like, wow, all these things that you're involved in, you have no idea. I don't know. And I feel good in saying, I don't know. But I do know who knows. I know God knows. I know that He has the plan for me. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. The plans to prosper you and not harm you, to give you a future and a hope. That's what I'm resting on, y'all. I'm resting on the promises of God. God told me that He'll never leave me nor forsake me. He told me that He knows the plans that He has for me. And I'm good with that. I'm really, really good with that. It took me all of these years to be really, really good with that. If anybody knows me personally, knows that I love planning. I love knowing what's going to be next. I love being able to be on top of things. But ever since this walk with God has intensified and I've deepened my relationship with Him, I'm resting in Him completely. Even when He has me walking down a pathway where He's just lighting the next step. I don't know what else is in the room. I know what's right in front of me. And I know it's Him. I know that's Him that's lighting this pathway. I know it's Him that's making things happen for me. I know it's Him that's leading, directing, and guiding me. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at as far as trusting. That's where I'm at as far as how He's leading and directing and guiding my life. And you can get there too if you're not there already. There's a time in our life where we have to figure out that the Lord is all we need. We don't need to rely on our own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths. So if we believe that, if we read that and we understand that, and we're saying, it's difficult to do at times, and the difficulty in doing that or in following that is us really, really submitting to that. It's hard for us to do that when our world is saying you have to have your plans, you have to make sure you have everything in place. If you're not on top of it, somebody's going to be on top of you. Really? I don't know about that. I know that I serve a God that's going to give me the plans that He wants to put through me. He's speaking to me. The question becomes, am I listening the way that I should? The times where I don't feel like I've heard from God, a lot of the times it's my own way of thinking that's clouding and blocking out what He's been telling me. I remember a time I was trying to figure out something. I had a project that was coming up, and it was coming up soon. I was like, Lord, you haven't spoken to me yet about this. But then I thought about it, and I actually wrote on a whiteboard. I was like, okay, this is the plan that I have. And as I was writing it, I noticed that I was scribbling, and then I was erasing it. Scribbling, then I was erasing it. Scribbling, and then I was erasing it. It's actually this hand, I'm lefty. Scribbling it, erasing it. Scribbling, erasing. And as I was erasing my plan, and I was putting it with something else. I was adding something else there, and it was the Lord's plan. It was exactly what He wanted me to do. And when I was able to execute the plan, it turned out exactly the way it was supposed to. That is how we are supposed to execute God's plans. He's using us as an instrument to be His hands, to be His feet, to be His voice. But a lot of the times we try to when His plans doesn't match our plans, we try to override it and say, well, I'm just going to desire it and I'm going to believe that God's going to do it, when God is trying to tell you that I know the plans that I have for you. You know the plans that you have for you, but it doesn't have the same power behind it. It doesn't have the same backing. It doesn't have the same support. It doesn't have the same spirit behind it. And we have to be able to step out of His way and allow His will to prevail through our lives. It's a process. It's difficult at times, but the difficulty is not in anything else other than us. It's us at the root of it, y'all. And we have to be able to step out of the way and allow Him to work in our lives.